guys, this is Scott and Ariane from this Nomadic Idea.
In this video, we're going to give you the complete tour of our 1976 vintage Airstream Argosy from front to back and show you how we took an old vintage trailer and made it into an eco-friendly boondocking beast.
One of the biggest questions we had when we first purchased this Airstream is, do we gut it entirely and keep the original, attempt to keep the original, or do we completely go with a brand new design? We chose to do a little bit of both. One of the very first things we thought about was a layout for the design going forward. That was a huge, huge decision. When we first purchased this, the layout of this particular trailer was very segmented, as most are. It was very much the living room, the kitchen, the bathroom, a closet area, and a very tight, closed-off bedroom. More than anything, I wanted to be able to have a clean look from the front of the trailer all the way to the back bedroom, and I wanted the back bedroom to be as open and spacious as possible. So that's where we started with the design plan, and from there we had to make decisions what was staying in its original design and what was gonna go. There were timber doors that lined the entire length of the trailer up on this side. We tried very hard to fit them into the design because we loved the originality and we wanted to keep as much of the originality as possible from the vintage feel of the trailer. However, it was an enormous amount of unusable room and it just felt like it closed off the space. So we made the decision to get rid of them and have a very clean look all the way to the bedroom.
So let's talk about some of the challenges that we had when we first bought the Argosy. Well, a lot of parts, a lot of things were 40 years old. Do we use them? Do we keep them? Do we throw away? Do we buy new? Well, some of the things we needed to save, only because of budget, because they cost a lot of money to replace, and quite frankly, it was much more fun to try to fix it and repurpose it and keep the originality of that part rather than buy something new. So these are all the parts that we're able to save and restore to keep the Airstream original. The biggest part was keeping the end caps. The end caps were the biggest challenge because not only were they aqua blue when we bought the Airstream, but they had some cracks in them. These are ABS plastic, and we weren't quite sure what to do with them. They had a big stereo in the middle of it, but we wanted to keep the space that we could still use for storage. And that's exactly what we did. So we went to great lengths to restore our end caps to make sure that they were going to be sturdy, they're going to stay on there, they were well insulated, and we could keep them from storage. So the tub was probably my proudest project. It was cracked, it was dirty. If you see our Instagram page, This Nomadic Idea, you can see the before and after project for the tub. But the big thing was these new tubs that they make are over $500. So I was able to actually save this tub, restore it, fix it, and make it usable again. One of the things we really tried hard to do was keep all of the original Airstream parts. So what do you do with old 1970 speakers that you're not going to use anymore, that were really made for car speakers? Well, what do? You make them into a light. So that's exactly what we did. I put a IKEA light behind it, a puck light with insulation, and now those are part of our bedroom lights.
One other aspect of the design that was very important for me was to keep modern, like a modern look, very white, very clean, paired with very rustic, like extreme rustic. So a lot of dark, deep colored woods, a lot of antiques, a lot of dirty looking things that we've been able to clean up. I wanted it to have a very industrial looking feel in line with a very modern, clean look was imperative that we build into the design as we went along.
So this is all repurposed barn tin or tin roof for a barn. We had a lot of this on the farm. It took us a while to find some really nice sheets, but these have all been resanded. They have a rubber coating on the back of it that we used, and then of course we clear coated it and put polyurethane to really bring out the shine and the colors. But this is all recycled barn tin, along with our IKEA puck lights that we bought from IKEA. The bathroom was a little bit trickier because we wanted to keep the original layout of the bathroom, but we really wanted to give this an antique look, but at the same time, we didn't want a black water tank. So we went with the Airhead composting toilet, and then we went with a brass faucet that we found, and we made ourselves our own bathroom sink. This piece of wood right here is 100-year-old repurposed barnwood that we have on our farm, and all of this we had bought in an antique store, which I thought was really nice since we had repurposed the bathtub. Of course, all the corrugated tin was found on the farm, and I think it worked out really, really nice to give it an old, new look. Of course, along then with our composting toilet to make it eco-friendly.
When we were building out the cabinetry for all of our drawers and doors, I wanted white. I wanted a lot of white. But what I ran into a challenge of is it was too white. And so we found these blueberry drawers, which are literally just blocks of old antique wood. There were true drawers that were used to house blueberries. We found these shopping in an antique store. They are original blueberry drawers. We had a lot of cleaning up to do with them because they were stained. So we spent an exuberant amount of time cleaning and repolishing them just to get them to a state of functionality. It makes such a beautiful contrast of the white with a very antique look, a very old stained look with the wood. And this has been one of my favorite design elements that we've created in the Airstream.
So having this the original table, all I did was put Velcro on the end of it, stuck it under the table, and the table completely folds down against the wall, hooked in the wall. When I go to take the table off, obviously it's just Velcroed. It just comes down like this. And then of course, the table in itself extends to the bigger table. So this is the original table part. We kept it exactly the way it was. We just repurposed barnwood and made a new tabletop.
Another way for us to break up the very clean white look on the drawers itself is to really figure out what we wanted to do with a handle look. We chose to go with the leather for a multitude of reasons, mainly because we liked the dark aged look. Over time, this will give into a very weathered look, which matches the other design elements in our Airstream, yet it's paired with a very modern looking clean stainless steel. We liked it because it gave us a wide enough angle to pull with. One of the hardest things for us to actually design in the Airstream was the door to the bathroom. It didn't need to be this hard, but we wanted something that was extremely lightweight, and also we wanted a barn door look, something that matched the full interior of what we had. It took several designs of this to come up with this plan. We love it. It has turned out to be one of the favorite things in the Airstream and extremely lightweight. As you know, storage is crucial when you are living in a smaller space. So the drawer space that we allocated for what was very well thought out. These are very, very large drawers. We made them to where this is Scott's clothing drawer. Everything that he has is required to fit in there. This is mine, obviously. no clothes. And then the bottom drawer itself opens up like this and allows us to have shoe storage, and then you know, other odds and ends.
We decided to go with a queen size bed.
Loving
Now,
it.
that may be overkill, but we also have 2 dogs that refuse to sleep anywhere else but in our bed. So designing the back for a queen size when the original Airstream was just really 2 single beds was a little bit of a challenge, but in the end, because of the storage space it provided us in the bottom, I think it ended up being a great idea.
This is our pantry. This is all we've allocated for our food allocation. Little concern that it may not be enough, but we'll see once we're on the road. This right here will house our dog food. It is perfectly for the bin that we have spaced out for it. And then of course we have our food drawer storage, which is going to allow for all of our canned goods and so on and so forth.
With our stove, we ended up with just a 3-burner stovetop. We don't really cook a whole lot, but we do, when we do cook, it's usually in a pan, a frying pan, or something that we can heat up quick. So we have very little propane needs. So we didn't go with a big oven because the big ovens take a lot of room. If you looked at our previous videos, we bought a camping oven that we can use outdoors if we want to cook biscuits, if we want to cook, as you saw in our Thanksgiving Day video, we actually made green bean casserole in it, and it works fine. So the object is to stay out of the Airstream as much as possible. So we went with a very, very simple 3-burn stovetop that takes very little propane. Which is, of course, is why we went with the Cubic Mini. This is our heat source. This is a wood-burning stove that can get this Airstream from 32 degrees to 72 degrees in a matter of an hour and a half. We really like it. I've done a lot of videos on this. This is really a beautiful piece of gear that we bought in Canada, and we absolutely love it. This is the Cubic Mini. This is the Cubic Mini stove, wood burning stove, and that has been a great source of heat for us. So one of the things also that we have is that we've got a pretty big couch. And the reason why we put a big couch in here is that when you take off the back cushions, this is pretty much a single bed. Instead of doing the whole gaucho bed, which kind of takes up the same amount of space, we decided to build a bigger couch, not make it a slide in, slide out, but we have plenty of storage underneath here, so we can put our sleeping bags, we can put other storage in here, and we've got storage here. We have access to our fresh water tank underneath here. We have access to our battery charge controller underneath here. Our 7-pin connector is underneath the couch, along with our fresh water tank. So I have access to all of those pieces of equipment. If something goes wrong, we have a leak, I can literally lift the bed up and fix it without taking anything apart. Of course, this is the brains of the whole operation, all where our solar comes in and our 12-volt system comes in. This is all the wiring. I'm going to do another video to explain exactly how we wired and redid our solar for the Airstream. But long story short, is that our inverter, our solar charger, our 12-volt fuse box, our on and off switch that cuts power off to the Airstream completely, our solar charger, and our battery monitor are all under the sink, and this is the brains of the operation. So this is our Airstream Argosy. Love it. Would we do it again? I don't know. But no. This is our tour. We made it as functional as we could based on a design from 45 years ago. We wanted to make it eco-friendly because leaving a very low footprint is very important to us. But at the same time, hey, we wanted this to be our home with some of the modern conveniences of home. And so that was our whole design plan from the very start. I think we accomplished it.
I love what we've accomplished. And
I think we've done pretty good.
And I absolutely, it feels like home in here, and that was the whole purpose. in the design and build stage. So
yeah, if it doesn't feel like home, it's not home. So I think we accomplished that feeling. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching the video. Really appreciate that. If you like our videos, hit the subscribe button. We'd love for you to be a part of our community. Hit the thumbs up, and we will see you when we see you. Bye.